production in Camden. And by then, it was the orthophonic era anyway, so only the Victrola was really using one of these anymore. I think we're still using the Exhibition, I think, or maybe the number 2. Everything else was the orthophonic number 5 reproducer or whatever. But these are the ones you'll find in all the machines from the teens and they're in the early to mid-20s, except the HMV. HMV, now Victor only made this for a few years, the number 4. It was a very short-lived reproducer before they came out with the orthophonics. It was a stopgap between this and the orthophonic, which I don't have here, but that's a totally different reproducer. HMV used these on the 101s, 1920, or late 1925, all the way up to 1931. In 1932, of course, the 102 was an orthophonic reproducer, the number 16 and the number 5, number 5A and B. So these are around a lot longer, and they didn't just use them on the portables like Victor was on some of them. They were using them on everything, the whole line in those years, the whole lineup of machines. And in Germany, I'm sure that Victrola continued to use these for quite a few more years after that with the 106. So you can still source a lot of these from the UK eBay, these all brass, number 4s. You can see it says number 4 right on it. After a while, of course, they become pot metal and they're useless because they swell and crack and they fall apart. But these all brass ones from the early years in the 1920s, I think they used them up to 1928. Somewhere I read that. And you can always tell them because they have a back gasket that looks like this. It's flat, almost flush with the reproducer body. While the pot metal ones, they were higher, kind of like a mushroom style. It came up over the top a little bit, up to about here to slide over the tone arm. It was actually a better sealing type of gasket. It was easier to seal around this area. But that's how you can immediately tell one of the pot metal ones when you see one. For HMV anyway, not for Victor. Victor used the same gasket on pot metal, on brass, but you very rarely encounter a Victor all brass number 4. It's not too unusual with HMV, but with Victor it's rare and they're very expensive when you do find one. If you can find one, by accident, someone didn't know what it was when they were selling it, or most collectors who get them will not part with them. They'll use them on their good machines and whatever. And of course, the lettering is different on these. But I went over the differences in those in another video. But there you go. There's the 3. And this one, of course, as I mentioned, is for the Silvertone. So we'll put that aside for that machine. That's where it'll go. And I will test that number 4 later because while I'm pretty sure that gas is going to be just fine, I don't know that until I test it. Okay, that covers it for now.